We have to fight two enemies. Ukraine's female soldiers decry stigma and harassment.
Here's a summary of the article.
There are approximately 60,000 women serving in Ukraine's armed forces, of which 5,000 are on the front line. Ukraine's Ministry of Defense makes much of the image of female and male defenders fighting together, but based on interviews with the soldiers themselves and the organizations that help them, including the Veteranka Women's Veterans Body and the Zemlyachki organization, which has donated about $2 million in vital equipment. A picture has emerged that suggests a lack of respect for the points of view of its female personnel as one failure among many impeding the force's fighting effectiveness. There is equality on paper today but scant evidence of it in practice, Heron said. With women's needs in terms of uniform, body armor, sanitation and career development not treated as priorities and regarded as almost a form of provocation by many men fighting alongside them. It's a very big problem to find the military boots with a smaller size for women, said Olena Bilazurska, 44, a celebrated sniper with multiple kills to her name. The list of shortcomings goes on. There is no contraception at the frontline nor the provision of female urinary diversion devices that allows women in trenches to stand up when relieving themselves so as to avoid infections. For all of those many indignities, each of the women said it was the mentality that most urgently needed to change. There was every incentive to walk away, Heron said, but there was also a growing cohort of women in senior roles and the future Elia had been fighting for remained in sight.
This post received a score of 5,200, with an upvote ratio of 93%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
Greater than they were harassed by the same person who basically told them if they refused to have sex with him, he's sending their husbands who were also in the brigade to their deaths. What a piece of shit.
Holy fuck. How much of scumbag do you have to be to consider that acceptable behavior?
That behavior is literally ancient. There are accounts of Roman recruiters doing the same thing.
A similar story is literally in the Bible also.
The more humans change, the more they stay the same.
War never changes.
The war has changed.
The method of war maybe, but never the motive.
You don't get the reference.
This should be a shock to anybody. Most Western countries experience huge amounts of sexual harassment and discrimination in their military branches. In my country of Norway, about half of the women in the armed forces have experienced unwanted sexual attention in the last year. And this is in a country that consistently assures high on gender equality. I couldn't even start to imagine how bad it would be if our country was invaded. Edit. It was sexual harassment, not sexual attention. But thanks for trying to making women uncomfortable okay.
This just in. Most of the world is startlingly sexist and racist, even in developed countries.
In a new study, scientists are coming to the quick conclusion that most people suck.
Till that human beings make terrible people. In the beginning the universe was created. This has made a lot of people very angry and been widely regarded as a bad move.
Women in the armed forces of the USA still face endemic sexual harassments despite controversies erupting every few years and tons of money spent on trying to resolve the problem. I think it was just this year that Congress decided to move sexual harassment claims out of the purview of military courts to civilian ones in order to finally break the pattern of constant cover-ups. They're blazing a trail that will help to transform their society and empower their children's generation to live in a changed country. I wish them the fortitude to fight through the tough times.
Greater than Congress decided. Pretty sure it was an executive order from Biden. Edit.
And it wasn't from military courts to civilian. It was from commanders to criminal investigators, NCIS, CID, OSI, and legal officers. Which is a much more appropriate way of handling things. Imagine your boss handling your sexual assault investigation and prosecution. That's kinda what was previously happening.
The women of Ukraine are showing the world their courage and bravery under these extreme circumstances.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.